Alright, good day to my BA 25 students. Today we will be on a self-directed learning class because we have a very important event to attend to as part of the Faculty Association Incorporated, and we are required to attend such meeting. So today we will be into a self-directed learning. So you are going to watch this video that I have recorded. Then eventually you will have your own assessment also of your learning after this one. This is in continuation of our discussion in Unit 1, Introduction to Human Resource Management. And this is one of the final lesson in this topic. So we will be looking now into how the various internal and external factors affect human resource management. Okay, just like any other field or function of management, human resource management also operates within the context of a broader organizational and environmental framework. Meaning, yung mga HR practices, strategies are inherently influenced by both the internal and external factors. And understanding these factors is crucial because they shape the challenges, the opportunities that HR professionals face. So, when we understand, when we become aware of this internal and external dynamics, the human resource management function, department, the HR professionals can ensure that they will remain proactive, strategic, and effective in meeting both organizational and employee needs. So, as a student of human resource management, you need to be aware of these internal and external factors that will affect human resource management. Because number one, it will prepare you for para ikaw ay maging effective sa inyong mga strategic roles within the organizations. And also understanding these factors will equip you with the knowledge and skills necessary to navigate to the complex landscape of managing human resources in contemporary organizations. So, you will become aware of the internal and external factors, which is crucial for developing holistic understanding of the field, preparing you for the real world challenges, even enhancing your employability, and maintaining also a global perspective. So, yung knowledge mo dito sa mga factors na yan will form the foundation for a successful career in HR. This will enable you after graduation to contribute meaningfully to the organizations that you will enter into. Okay? So, alam naman natin na yung world of work ngayon is continually evolving. So, ganun din dapat yung ating approach to human resource management nag-evolve din because the landscape is shifting under our feet both from the external forces and internal dynamics. Meron tayong mga technological advancement, changing societal values, economic fluctuations, and even the rapid globalization of businesses are some of the external factors that are shaping now our workplaces. Internally, yung ating organizational culture, leadership philosophies, operational strategies, financial health, employee relations can also play pivotal roles in influencing how we manage our human resources. So, together, etong external at saka internal elements will dictate the need for a more adaptive, proactive, and holistic approach to human resource management para ma-ensure natin na merong organizational resilience and also advocating for employee well-being. Okay, so we have internal and external factors. The external environment affects human resource management. If we go back again to management, the study of the internal and external environment is very crucial. Diba? Yung pag-conduct natin ng internal analysis identifies kung ano ba yung mga strengths, weaknesses, focusing on its core competencies and areas needing improvement. So you are familiar with SWOT, di ba? SWOT analysis. So this is an internal analysis of our internal environment. The external analysis, on the other hand, is focused more on the broader macro environment, encapsulating factors like political, economic, social, technological influences. I know you are familiar with PESTEL or PESTEL, yeah? Because you are now looking outside the organization and what factors could affect your operations. So together, yung dalawang analysis natin sa internal and external analysis of our environment will equip organization to craft strategies that will leverage opportunities to counter threats and even align with their overarching objectives in an ever evolving business landscape. So studying the internal and external environments of HR becomes crucial because internally we have to understand the dynamics of our organizational culture, leadership styles, employee competencies, so that makapag-provide yun ng insights on how talent can be best leveraged to achieve strategic objectives. Externally naman, yung mga factors along labor market trends, regulatory shifts, global workforce dynamics can greatly impact how HR strategies are formulated and executed. So, pag-usapan muna natin tong internal factors that affects human resource management. So we have here 6 major factors or major internal factors that affect how human resource management is processed, implemented, and designed inside the organization. Okay, so we have their organizational culture and structure. So yan yung mga beliefs, values, behaviors, hierarchy within the organization. So this can heavily influence HR policies and practices, and among the others. So we will be discussing this one by one. Okay, so let's start with organizational culture and structure. So this is the prevailing culture and climate within the organization. Also, or greatly influence HRM strategies. Pag-usapan natin yan. Okay? So, organizational culture directly influences HR practices and policies. HR policies should align with the company values, beliefs, and way of working to ensure employees fit well within the organization. So, dapat yung mga in-implement na HR practices and policies should be aligned with our organizational culture and structure. And aside from that, it is the organizational culture that will dictates kung ano yung mga magiging HR practices and policies. So, pag titignan mo yung example dito, okay, doon sa Netflix, di ba? Dito sa Netflix, they believe that yung kanilang culture, they believe that skills can be taught, but naniniwala sila na importante yung good cultural fit. That is the for them, that is the key for long-term success. So pag nag-hire ang Netflix, they don't just check for skills, but also they will assess if that person who is applying dun sa kanilang company will also share the common values that they value. So this means na yung kanilang HR policies, especially on hiring, they will hire people not just with skill but also who will match their company culture. Okay? So let's say for example, dito sa mga naka-check dito, kung yung isang organization or company, one of their core values is teamwork. So, makikita mo yan sa kanilang mga HR policies, dun sa kanilang mga HR activities, they will include team building activities and collaborative workspaces. So, yung second, kapag yung organization naman is focus more on innovation, din yung kanilang culture dyan, okay, they will invest heavily in employee training to encourage continuous learning. And that will result into innovative ideas that will be incorporated in their operations. Then lastly, if an organization culture is more on transparency, they will have open communication policies like regular town meetings where employees can share their thoughts. So makikita natin dito that HR must design policies that fits the company unique values, beliefs, and practices. Kasi pag hindi nag-match yung policies, yung HR policies dun sa culture, employee may feel out of place or disconnected. Okay? Okay. Next naman tayo. So, yun yung effect ng organizational culture. Now, we look into this organizational structure. Okay? Organizational structure affects HR practices. An organization can have different structures like I think discuss natin to sa OAM, yung mga divisional, flat, okay, hierarchical, or yung tinatawag natin na vertical, okay, or matrix, or even project based. So each structure will influence how HR manages people. Let's say for example, in a flat structure, roles are more flexible and generalized. So meaning, ini-encourage ngayon ng HR yung multi-skilling so that employees can take on various tasks. In a hierarchical structure, wherein merong clear chain of command, di ba? So HR focuses now on well-defined career paths, promotions, and performance evaluation. In a matrix structure, employees will work in cross-functional teams. Therefore, HR will need to create policies that support teamwork and collaboration across departments. Kapag yung organization naman is project-based yung kanyang structure, employees will move between projects frequently. So meaning, yung HR ngayon will ensure smooth transitions by having flexible job roles and assignment policies. So, depende doon sa structure ng company, mag-a-adapt yung mga HR policies natin to make sure that employees are well managed and communication flows are being done efficiently. Okay, so that's the organizational structure on how it affects HR practices. And then number 3, we have here leadership and management styles. So leadership styles and the behavior of the management will also play a pivotal role in shaping the organization's culture and environment. And therefore, yung leadership and management style will also shape the organization's human resource management practices and policies. The way leaders make decisions, interact with their employees, and set expectations will directly impact how HR structures its policies to align with the company's overall culture and goals. So, isipin na lang natin na yung mga leadership style, management styles will set the foundation for how HR functions in an organization. And of course, HR policies must align with leadership approaches to create a cohesive work environment. So, hindi ka pwedeng mag-create ng sarili mong policy na hindi aligned sa leadership and management styles ng mga top management. So, example, sa Netflix, yung kanilang leadership styles based on freedom and responsibility. So, this means that employees are trusted to make decisions that are in a company's best interest. So, ini-encourage dito yung innovation and agility. So, how will HR support this one? So, HR can support this by avoiding micromanagement and focusing on broad principles and values rather than yung mga strict rules. Okay. So, doon sa organization management, na-discuss din yung mga various leadership styles, right? If you could still recall. Okay? Because dito, kung ano yung leadership style ng isang organization, ini-influence niya yung mga HR policies on employee autonomy and control. Number 1, let's say for example, kapag yung Kapag yung leadership style ng inyong organization is autocratic leadership. So pag autocratic leadership, that will equate to strict HR policies. So meaning, in the autocratic leadership, decisions are top-down with little employee input. Diba? So ang focus ngayon ng HR dyan is compliance and clear hierarchies. And there should be strict adherence to rules and policies. Kapag yung organization naman, merong siyang democratic style of leadership, so meaning, ini-encourage yung mga employees to participate in the decision making. So, yung mga policies ngayon ng HR would revolve in that kind of decision making. Just like they will implement or create policies on suggestion schemes and even participative management meetings. So, Google are using this type of HR policy because they have democratic leadership, because they encourage open communication and feedback. Itong pangatlo naman, if yung organization niyo, ang kanilang management style is more on a coaching style, so meaning mentoring and feedback yung focus nila. So in a company that values coaching leadership, HRM will focus now on mentorship programs and continuous feedback mechanisms. Okay? And they might invest into leadership or to propose leadership development programs. Kapag yung management naman is merong visionary style. Okay? So, this can be equated into innovation and bold HR policies. So, a visionary leadership promote bold and creative ideas. So, HR supports this by what? By how? Encouraging innovation, supporting new projects and initiatives. So, ito yung most type of leadership style ng mga startups at saka mga tech giants just like Tesla, who adopt this model to foster creativity and risk taking. So as you can see, yung final takeaway natin dito, leadership sets the tone. Yung mga HRM practices, policies, nakadepende pa rin yan sa mga leadership and management approach ng isang organization. So HRM should align kung ano ba yung mga leadership and approaches, management style na meron ng isang organization. So there must be a synergy between leadership styles and HR practices para maging successful yung mga implementation ng mga HRM practices, mga policies and programs. Okay, another internal factor is the organizational strategy. So organizational strategy shapes HR practices. So pag sinasabi nating organizational strategy, this is the big picture plan that guides a company's business goals, competitive position, and long-term success. Okay? So, di ba na-mention ko noon na people are the most valuable asset of any company. So, HR practices must align with this strategy. Yung to ensure that the employees support and drive the organization's objectives effectively. So, isipin natin na yung HR function, di ba na-discuss ko naman to, hindi lang siya support function, but also strategic partner in achieving business goals. So, paano nakaka-affect ang organizational strategy sa mga HR functions? Okay, unang-una, yung company strategy determines who will hire and why we are hiring. Okay? Let's say, for example, if the strategy of the company is to expand globally, so ano yung mga activities ng HR? So they will focus on hiring employees with international experience and strong cross-cultural skills. Okay, another example, if a company wants to become a technology leader, ano ang activities ng HR? So they will prioritize hiring tech-savvy and innovative talent. So makikita natin dito that strategy determines who the HR hires and why they are hiring. Okay. Second, focus naman tayo sa training and development. A company's strategy influence how HR invests in employee skills. Say for example, if an organization wants to stay ahead in innovation, anong gagawin ng HR? They will implement continuous learning programs. If a company focus on customer satisfaction, yun yung kanilang strategy, anong gagawin ng HR? Mapuprovide yan ng extensive customer service training. Okay, another HR functions, performance management and rewards. Okay, so, ibig sabihin, yung mga policies for evaluating employee performance dapat magmamatch dun sa ating business goals and organizational strategy. So, let's say for example, kung ang strategy ng organization is focusing on efficiency and cost cutting, anong gagawin ng HR? HR will emphasize productivity-based performance reviews. Kung strategy ng company is creativity and innovation, anong gagawin ng HR? HR will reward risk-taking, experimentation, and new ideas. Okay. Punta naman tayo sa compensation and benefits. So, yung ating mga salary structures, incentives, benefits must be based on what the company is trying to achieve. Say for example, if a company wants to attract top talent, yan yung kanilang organizational strategy. Anong gagawin ng HR? HR will offer high salaries and competitive benefits. Okay? Another example, if a company focus on cost leadership, anong gagawin ngayon ng HR? They will structure yung ating mga compensation to balance cost and employee motivation. Okay? So, nakikita natin dito na yung strategy o yung HR will follow kung ano yung organizational strategy. Okay? Kasi doon natatawag na strategic partner ang HR because nakakatulong ka na ma-achieve yung organizational strategy and business goals. Okay? Yan yung mga example. Okay. Next is another internal factor is the internal labor market. Ano ba itong tinatawag natin na internal labor market? Ano ba ito? It refers to the available talent, skills, and workforce dynamics within an organization. Okay, so tinitignan natin, do we have the available talent? Do we have the right people? Do we have the right number of people with the right skills? And ano yung workforce dynamics within our organization. So meaning, instead of always hiring externally, yung HR will assess yung mga existing employees to determine whether they can fill job vacancies, whether they can be trained for new roles, or whether they can be transferred to areas with talent shortages. So merong malaking impact ito sa mga HR practices, especially doon sa recruitment, training, career development, performance management, and workforce planning. Okay, sige, pag-usapan natin yan. Ngayon. So, internal labor market influences recruitment strategies. So, before ka mag-hire or mag-recruit externally, ina-assess mo muna kung meron bang available na talent or existing talent doon sa ating organization. So, kung meron tayong strong pool of talent internally, HR can prioritize internal promotions or even lateral transfers before considering external candidates. Okay? So, kapag meron tayong available talent, we have a strong pool of talent internally, nare-reduce ngayon yung external hiring costs because we are promoting or transferring qualified internal employees. And with that, kapag nag-hire ka internally, you will also be developing internal job postings and succession plans. And pwede ka rin makipag-work closely sa mga managers to assess yung mga internal talent pools natin before seeking external applicants. Okay? Yun. Internal labor market influences recruitment strategies. So does with training and development. Okay? So, when internal skills don't meet business needs, HR must focus on upskilling and reskilling employees instead of hiring externally. So, yung effect nito sa HR, they will identify skill gaps, implement training programs to fill those skill gaps. And also, they could develop mentorship programs where more experienced employees will coach less experienced team members. Okay? It could also affect Succession planning and career growth priorities. So kung meron tayong magandang or well-managed internal labor market, this will ensure that organizations can prepare employees for future leadership roles. So ang ginagawa ng HR dyan, HR must map out yung mga career paths, identify high potential employees for leadership training. Okay? And lastly, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, yung pag-understand natin ng internal labor market could help address talent surpluses and shortages. So if one department has too many employees and another has a skills shortage, so anong gagawin ng HR dyan? HR can facilitate internal transfer rather than resorting to layoffs or external hiring. So ano yung mga possible activities ng HR dyan? HR can develop cross-training programs to make employees versatile. They could match surplus employees to departments that need their skills. They could also create mobility programs that will allow employees to explore different roles within the organization. So, nakikita na ngayon natin dito kung paano affected yung mga HR practices, mga policies, mga programs by our internal labor market. Then we have here, second to the last, employee characteristics. Yung ating workforce demographics, skills, and attitudes affect HR practices. Yung composition ng ating workforce, demographics nila, skill levels, employee attitudes will play a critical role in shaping HRM practices. So HR professionals have to align policies, programs, and strategies to meet also, not just the business goals, but to meet the needs also and expectations of employees, ensuring that the workforce remains productive, engaged, and competitive. Okay? So pag sinasabi natin demographic, we refer to yung age, gender, education, work experience, ethnicity, generational differences. Yan, yung mga components ng demographics. So, we have to ensure na yung mga policies along HR will reflect and accommodate the diverse needs of employees. Okay? Say for example, dun sa generational differences, di ba meron tayong mga baby boomers, Gen X, millennials. So, ano ba yung mga kanilang values, concern, preferences? Say for example, baby boomers, ano yung mga preferences nila sa workplace. So they prefer traditional benefits like pensions, structured career growth. Sa mga millennials naman, mga Gen Z, they might prioritize flexibility, work-life balance, and continuous learning. So anong effect niyan sa HR? HR must create customized engagement strategies for different age groups. Okay? Another area of demographics is the diversity and inclusion. Companies with diverse workforces must implement equal opportunity policies, anti-discrimination laws, and employee resource groups para ma-ensure natin that we have a fair hiring, fair promotions, and salary structures across all demographics. Okay? Ano ba dyan? Okay, another is yung skills ng mga empleyado. Employee skills also shape HR training and development strategies. Okay? So, yung skills, competencies ng employees will determine how HR will design training programs, career development opportunities, and succession planning. Okay. Another is yung attitude din ng mga employees will impact HR engagement and performance strategies. Ano yung mga sinasabi natin na workplace attitudes? Na-discuss ito sa inyong organizational behavior. Pinag-usapan sa OB, yung mga motivation, job satisfaction, work ethic, job engagement, okay, employee engagement, employee satisfaction. All of these things greatly impact productivity. So, HR must continuously monitor employee sentiments, which are yung mga attitudes, and implement policies that promote a positive workplace culture. So, anong effect niyan? Yung attitude. So, let's say for example, sa job satisfaction and employee retention, HR should continuously measure job satisfaction through surveys, create policies to improve workplace conditions. Okay, employee engagement programs, kailangan nilang i-measure yan. Recognition systems, competitive benefits will help retain employees. So they have to continuously assess yung ating mga employee attitudes. Okay, that's an example. And then, number 4, yung mga workplace expectations. Okay, workforce expectations will drive HR policy reforms. Yung expectation ng mga employee are evolving due to changes in work culture, technological advancement, and global workplace trends. So HR must adopt policies to attract and retain top talent. Let's say, for example, on flexible work arrangement. So because of COVID, because of the pandemic, many employees now prefer hybrid work. Okay? Or maybe some also want remote work. So HR must revise yung kanilang mga attendance, productivity tracking, virtual engagement policies, and create guidelines on how hybrid and remote work will be implemented in their organization. Okay, another is on the area of compensation and benefits preference. Ano ang ina-expect ng mga empleyado towards compensation and benefits? They expect now customized benefits such as mental health support, parental leave, and wellness programs. So HR must offer personalized benefits packages to meet these diverse employee needs. Okay, so makikita natin dito na yung HRM must be adaptive and strategic to the employee characteristics, demographic, skills, attitudes, and expectations. So, kailangan talaga para ma-ensure natin na motivated, skilled, and engaged yung ating mga workforce. So, they have to create policies that reflects the diverse needs of the employees. That's the internal factor, employee characteristics. And then last factor in the internal is the financial health of the organization. Of course, this is one of the sinasabi na natin na parang common sense, di ba? Because the financial health of the organization determines its capacity to invest in HR initiatives such as compensation, benefits, training, and development programs, as well as yung kanilang ability to attract, retain, and develop talent. Okay? Kung yung organization walang masyadong budget, there's financial constraints, it could limit yung kanilang ability to implement desired HR programs and even require HR to prioritize certain activities over others based on budgetary considerations. Conversely, kapag yung organization maganda naman ang kanilang financial performance, this can provide them means to invest in competitive HR practices that will support organizational growth and employee satisfaction. So, tandaan natin that a company's financial stability and budget constraints affect HR decisions in most areas in human resource management. Okay? So, kahit malakas yung HR strategy ninyo, kapag yung budget and financial resources ay kulang, mahirapan ka pa rin implement yung mga HR programs and policies na yan. Okay? So, we have here examples on how financial health affects HR practices in the organization. Diba? Okay? So, yun yung mga internal factors. So, pag nag-implement tayo ng mga HR policies, it must always be based on the reality or yung ating mga financial conditions ng ating organization. Okay. But even though meron tayong mga tinatawag na mga budget constraints, pwede pa rin makahanap ang HR ng mga cost-effective alternatives to keep the workforce productive. So, kailangan din ninyong maintindihan na yung financial context ng isang organization ay importante rin dun sa pag-implement ng realistic at saka effective HR strategies so that we could also support yung organizational goals and as well as the employee needs. Okay? Alright, so tapos na natin yung internal factors affecting human resource management. Now, we proceed to the external environment. So when we say external environment, we refer to the outside factors that influence HR practices and decision making. So ito yung mga factors that are beyond the organization's direct control but have significant impact on how the HR will hire, will train, will compensate, and will manage their employees in general. So HR must be adaptive and strategic to respond to these changes in the external environment while also ensuring na yung kanilang mga workforce policies will remain effective and aligned with the business goals. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 external factors affecting HR. That includes economic conditions, labor market trends, technological changes, legal and regulatory environment, social and cultural trends, globalization, and of course, demographics. Okay, so let us discuss this one by one. Number one is the economic conditions affect HR strategies and decision making. Since alam naman natin that business operate in a changing economic environment, HR must continually adapt its policies to keep the workforce stable while supporting company goals. So how does economic conditions affect yung impact nila sa human resource management? Let's say, for example, there is economic downturn or may tayong tinatawag na recession. How will this impact human resource management? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng economic downturn or recession? This usually happens when yung mga business activities slow down, leading to lower consumer spending, reduced profits, increased unemployment. So companies, ibig sabihin, companies are earning less revenue. So napo-force sila na mag-cut costs, okay, para sila ay mag-survive. So how does this economic situation, economic downturn, recession affect HR? Number one, ang magiging effect niyan sa mga organization is they could implement hiring freeze or pwede rin silang mag-lay off. So they will be stopping hiring new employees and may reduce yung kanilang workforce to manage cost. Magtatanggal sila. Okay? There might also be salary freezes, pay cuts. Employees may not receive yung kanilang mga annual raises, mga bonuses, and in severe cases, salaries may be reduced. Okay? Also, kapag hindi maganda yung economy, there could be reduced training and development. So, organizations will cut non-essential expenses including yung mga training and leadership programs. Pwede rin magkaroon ng increased workload for remaining employees. Since there are now fewer employees, existing staff often have to take on more responsibilities. Pwede rin mangyari dyan is bumaba yung employee moral, tumaas yung retention because tumataas rin kasi yung job insecurity. Walang kasiguraduhan kung magtutuloy pa yung kanilang trabaho. So leading to lower engagement, higher stress levels, and increased turnover risk. Okay? So, yun. Kung paano nakakaapekto ang economic downturns or recessions. Pag maganda naman ang economy, there is a booming economy, meaning businesses are growing, they are making higher profits, and expanding due to increased consumer demand and investments. So companies will compete for talent and HR must work harder to attract and retain employees. So how does a booming economy impact human resource management? So there will be an aggressive hiring strategy, meaning companies who are expanding their operations, they will hire more employees to support business growth. Okay? There will be offering of a more competitive compensation to attract top talent. Companies will also focus on upskilling yung kanilang workforce to keep up with the industry pace. And there is also a strong emphasis on employee relations. So HR will develop employee engagement programs, career advancement plans, and leadership development to keep employees from leaving for competitors. And kapag maganda rin yung ekonomiya, mataas ang kita ng mga organization, they will have more financial resources. So meaning the company or the organization can invest in employees wellness initiatives like mental health support, flexible work arrangements, and even various corporate perks. Okay? So nangyari ito sa Google at saka Microsoft noong pag-boom ng tech industries noong early 2000. So nag-offer sila ng high salary, stock options, extensive employee benefits to attract and retain top talent. Number 3, economic instability. Ano ba to? And how does it affect HRM? Pag sinasabi natin economic instability, this refers to uncertain or unpredictable economic conditions where businesses struggle to plan for the future due to fluctuating markets, inflation, or geopolitical tensions or issues. Unlike the clear recession or boom, economic instability creates uncertainty, making HR role even more complex. So, how does economic instability affect HR? So, companies may implement performance-based pay structures to adjust salaries based on company profits. Another is they might be cautious in hiring. So instead of rapid hiring or layoffs, companies may use temporary contracts or gig workers to remain flexible. Okay. Pwede rin siguro na mag-adapt sila ng mga remote work or hybrid models to reduce office costs. And since there is high uncertainty during economic instability, this will increase, diba, employee stress. So HR might implement communication strategies, wellness initiatives, and resilience training. Nangyari ito during the COVID-19, many businesses face economic instability, leading HR teams to adapt to remote work, adjust salary structures, and even introduce flexible benefits. Okay? So, ayun, yung first na external factor affecting human resource management. Okay? So economic conditions are always changing, so HR must remain agile, data-driven, and employee-focused to balance business, sustainability, and workforce well-being. Next, external factor is the labor market trends. So ito yung mga changes in the availability of workers relative to job openings. Okay. So etong shift ng ating labor market will significantly impact how HR recruits, retains, and manage employees. If the labor market has too few qualified workers, HR must compete to attract top talent. If there is an oversupply of workers, anong gagawin ng HR? HR can be more selective in hiring. So, pag-usapan natin yan. Okay. So if there is a tight labor market, so meaning there is a talent shortage, ano ang gagawin ng HR? So pag tight labor market, nangyayari yan kapag when the demand for skilled workers exceeds supply, meaning there are more job openings than qualified candidates. So paano nakaka-apekto yan sa HR? So companies must offer high salaries, signing bonuses, stock options, and other competitive benefits to attract and retain talent. So, pwede rin mag-invest ang HR in employee engagement, flexible work arrangement, and career development programs to retain existing talent. And organizations may also explore global talent acquisition or offer remote work options to access a wider pool of candidates. Yan. So, kapag meron naman tayong oversupply of candidates. Ano ibig sabihin ng oversupply of candidates? when there are more job seekers than the available jobs. So, anong gagawin dyan? Employers or HR can be more selective in their hiring process. So, merong luxury yung mga organization to hire only the best candidates, ensuring na nami-meet yung high performance and skill standards. In terms of offering salaries and benefits, HR may offer lower starting salaries and fewer benefits due to surplus of available candidates. And organizations can focus on longer, more detailed hiring process to filter the best candidate. Okay? Yan. And number 3, itong building a talent pipeline through educational partnerships. When skilled workers are scarce, kulang, HR must think ahead by what? By how? Developing future talent pools through partnership with universities, colleges, and training institutions. So, HR could collaborate with schools to create specialized programs that produce job-ready graduates. Or, pwede rin mag-offer sila ng mga internships, apprenticeships, scholarship programs to attract early talent. And organizations can even create training academies to upskill workers and close industry-specific skill gaps. Okay? So, that's how labor market trends affect human resource management. Next factor is the technological advancement. Okay? So, nakikita natin ngayon how technology advancement transform our life, and also it transform HR, making it more efficient, strategic, and employee focused. Modern HR departments right now have embraced digital innovations to attract, develop, and retain top talent while keeping up with the rapidly changing business landscape. So, embracing yung mga changes ngayon in terms of technological advancement and the application of this technology into HR could make the HR function more efficient and employee focused. Okay, yung rise of artificial intelligence and automation, it is now changing job roles and even HR processes. Okay? So, meaning, pag mga ina-accommodate ngayon ng mga organization tong HR, AI, and automation in HR, they must implement reskilling and upskilling programs to help employees transition to tech-driven roles. Pwede rin gamitin ng AI in resume screening, chatbot-driven employee support, and even performance analysis. And of course, some jobs may become automated, leading HR to manage job reallocation and change management initiatives. Yung paggamit ng HRIS, okay, so we are now digitizing HR processes. Yung ating mga recruitment, performance, management, payroll administration are now being done via computers. Okay, wala na yung mga papers and files. So, na-automate yung records, employee attendance, tracking of attendance, benefits administration. Okay? So, AI-powered, cloud-based HR na yung ating mga systems in managing yung mga HR or in implementing yung mga HR services. Okay? And even the use of remote work. Okay? So, the rise of remote work also requires HR to develop policies and tools that will support yung mga virtual teams and ensure productivity. So, babaguhin natin yung mga work policies. And magpapatraining din siguro sila ng mga digital collaboration tools such as Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Slack, whatever is that. And even the rise of virtual reality, pwede magamit yan sa training and development. Okay. Actually, yung VR technology is now revolutionizing employee training for organizations by offering immersive and interactive learning experiences. So makikita natin dito that HR must adapt to technological changes. So technology reshapes HRM, making it more data-driven, automated, and employee friendly. So HR professionals must stay ahead of the digital trends to keep their organizations competitive in the modern workforce. Okay, next external factor is the laws and regulations. Of course, compliance with the laws and regulations is crucial for organizations and HR departments because pag hindi ka nag-comply sa mga batas na sinet ng gobyerno, you might face legal actions, financial penalties, and reputational damages for the organization. Okay, so we don't just comply, but we have to understand and proactively work with this within this legal framework so that yung HR will be a partner or guardian of ethical practices, fostering a positive organizational culture and trust among employees. So sa Philippines, meron tayong mga labor laws and regulations, labor standards that significantly influence HRM practices. So meron tayong mga batas patungo sa recruitment hiring, patungkol sa recruitment hiring, patungo sa mga termination and severances, ba yung mga batas natin dyan. So marami, nakalagay yan sa ating mga labor laws, sa ating labor code of the Philippines. And for government organizations, we are guided by the Civil Service Commission. And sa private, they are guided by Department of Labor and Employment. So kailangan nating basahin, maging aware tayo sa mga batas na yan, mga regulations, para may iwasan yung mga legal actions and financial penalties, and so with reputational damages. Okay, another external factor is the social and cultural trends. Okay, so yung social and cultural trends, it shapes employee expectations, workplace behaviors, and organizational values. So HR must be aware and adaptable to these trends to attract, retain, and manage a diverse and evolving workforce. So yung mga policies dapat ng mga HR policies dapat ng organization must align with the social changes para ma-enhance yung employee satisfaction, promote inclusivity, and foster a positive work environment. Yung usapin ngayon ng work-life balance and flexible work arrangements. So if employees today prioritize work-life balance, it will push HR to implement flexible work policies. So how could it affect HR? So they might offer part-time roles, job sharing, remote work, flexible hours to attract and retain employees. Okay? Companies can also develop wellness programs to support mental health and productivity. And organizations can create policies for hybrid work models. Yung growing importance also ng CSR sa employee engagement, okay, with these CSR initiatives. So ini-expect nila ng yung mga organizations are engaging themselves into CSR initiatives. Na hindi lang sila puro profit driven, but they're also helping the community. Okay, they are giving back to the community. So how can this expectation affect HR? So HR can integrate now CSR activities into their corporate values. So it could be sustainability programs, community service projects, ethical labor practices, and the like. Or they could encourage employees to participate in volunteering programs and workplace sustainability efforts. And of course, the mga sikat na sikat to ngayon na usapin sa gender identity and inclusion in the workplace. So with increasing awareness and acceptance of non-binary and diverse gender identities, HR must create inclusive policies. So minsan, di ba? Meron mga ganyan na mga pinaglalaban ng mga LGBTQ+. So gusto nila na merong gender neutral language, pronoun preferences, dress codes that fits with their gender identity. So companies might implement yung usapin ng ano pa yun, yung restroom inclusive restaurant policies na open to all regardless of genders. And of course, there must be non-discriminatory hiring and career advancement practices also. Okay? So, as you can see in here na yung ating mga social and cultural trends are continuously evolving, so does HR. They must adopt workplace policies to create inclusive, engaging, and balanced work environment. Then we have here globalization. So, ano ba ang definition ng globalization? This is a process by which yung ating mga organizations develop international influence or operate in an international scale, and kapag nag-operate ka globally, it has implications for human resource management. Okay? So, pag nag-operate na yung organization nyo globally on an international scale, there will be some adaptations, changes in how HR is being managed. For example, if you are expanding in a new international market, meaning HR must understand and comply with different labor laws, hiring regulations, and cultural expectations. And we have here also other examples on how globalization can affect human resource management. But the key point here is that key point natin dito is that kapag yung organization nag-expand globally, it must ensure na yung ating mga HRM practices, programs, policies, meron tayong seamless cross-border operations while also maintaining legal compliance, cultural respect, and employee engagement. And then lastly, we have here external factors, last na ito, is the demographics. So, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, pag sasabi natin demographics, ito yung characteristics of the workforce that influence HR strategies and policies. So, this includes yung age, gender, ethnicity, and cultural background, educational level, family status, work experience and career stage, retirement and life expectancy trends. All of this shapes how HR manages employees. Okay, affecting hiring, training, compensation, benefits, workplace culture, and long-term workforce planning. So, a shift in demographic will influence HR strategies. Kasi sinushape niya yan yung mga employee expectations, workplace policies, and talent management practices. Okay, let's say for example, sa age na lang, if we have an aging workforce, so as more employees will approach employee retirement, okay, as more employees approach retirement, HR must ensure knowledge transfer and leadership continuity. So meaning, magde-develop ang HR ng succession planning to prepare younger employees for leadership roles. Okay? Companies might implement mentorship programs, and they might also consider offering flexible retirements such as phased retirement or consulting roles for older employees. So lahat ng mga yan naka-align dun sa aging workforce. Okay, yung mga Gen Z, pagpasok ng mga Gen Z sa organization, they have different expectations, values, preferences, and even skills. Okay, yung kanilang mindset is digital first, diba? So companies might implement social media, digital collaboration tools, and gamified learning platforms. Ano ba yung mga example natin dito? Yan, demographic shifts on ethnic diversity, okay, and inclusion. So with increasing ethnic and cultural diversity, HR must ensure inclusive hiring, equitable career growth, and cultural competence training. Okay. Ano pa ba yung mga possible? Ito, dual career families. With more families where both partners work, parang nagtatrabaho ang mag-asawa, HR must offer supportive policies that help employees balance career and personal responsibilities. So, ano pwedeng gawin ng HR dyan? Paano siya affected? Companies might offer family-friendly policies such as on-site childcare, paid parental leave, and remote work options. Pwede rin yung mga work-life integration programs to reduce employee stress. And adjusting to longer life expectations and retirement planning. So with employees living longer, HR must develop retirement strategies that allows older employees to continue contributing. So pwede mag-introduce ng HR ng gradual retirement options, allowing older employees to work part-time or before full retirement. Okay, pwede ring itap yung mga experience ng senior employees through consulting and advisory roles, and even offer financial literacy programs to help employees plan for their retirement. So, with this shift in demographics, HR must continuously adapt workforce policies to accommodate yung ating mga generational shifts, cultural diversity, and evolving family structures and retirement planning. So, by closely monitoring itong mga demographic trends na yan, HR professionals can proactively adjust yung kanilang strategies to manage the changing dynamics of the workforce. Okay? Para ma-ensure natin na yung ating organization will remain competitive and resilient in the face of demographic shifts because we are flexible, inclusive, and forward-thinking yung ating mga HR policies. Okay, so yon yung ating mga internal and external factors affecting human resource management. So, kailangan nating tandaan na ang HRM is not an isolated function within an organization. Instead, it operates at the intersection of internal organizational dynamics and a vast array of external factors. So, dapat meron tayong holistic approach. We have to acknowledge both internal and organizational context and the broader external environment. Okay, so meron tayong dual awareness to ensure that HR practices are agile, adaptive, and aligned with the organizational needs and external realities. Okay? At saka yung mga factors na pinag-usapan natin kanina, they are interconnected. Okay? So, yung ating internal factors, company culture, financial stability, employee relations, directly shape HR strategies from within. And even yung mga external factors will affect our strategies from within. So, we have to responsive to this external environment. Okay. We must anticipate and adapt to these factors to recruit, train, and retain talent effectively, ensuring the organization remains competitive. And of course, we have to adhere to the various laws, regulations, standards, especially dun sa mga employment and workplace rights, because these laws, regulations, standards will dictate parameters within which HR operates. So you have to stay updated and compliant with this laws, regulations, standards along employment and workplace. And yung palagi kong in-emphasize ngayon dito, yung strategic alignment. Kailangan nating i-align lahat ng mga strategies natin along human resource management with the organizational goals. So that yung ating mga HRM practices supports the company mission, vision, and strategic objectives. And we have also to consider stakeholders' expectations, whether from employees, shareholders, or the community, because they can significantly influence HR policies and practices. When we meet these expectations of our stakeholders, this is crucial to the success of organization and even building our organization's reputation. And lastly, given the dynamic nature of the internal and external factors, kailangan na mayroong continuous learning and adaptability ang mga organization and also the HR professionals. So, HR professionals, you as HR professional must be proactive. You have to stay informed and be ready to pivot your strategies based on evolving conditions. So, in essence, understanding these internal and external factors is crucial. It reinforces the idea that HR is a strategic partner in business success. Because if you want to have an effective strategy, kailangan natin maintindihan itong mga various factors na to because it shapes our HR strategy. Na yung ating strategy na yan, hindi lang nasusupport doon sa mga tao inside the organization, but also the organization's broader strategic objectives. Okay, I hope meron tayong natutunan ngayon regarding the factors affecting human resource management. Okay, so thank you for listening, and see you on our class. Have a good day, and God bless everyone.